Thanks so much to everyone over on Patreon for helping to keep the channel alive. Literally couldn't continue this series without all of your amazing aid. If you want to help out, vote in anime for me to cover and so much more, consider checking it out with the link at the top of the description, and hopefully I'll see you there soon. In an odd way, this opened up the entire area for me when viewing it like this from a distance. Not running after the boat in the distance on the spot. To his credit, this guy attacks in weird ways, seemingly like he's going after Sanji, but in reality aiming for Usopp. Okay, that got me, with the whole pop bit. Hot damn, it's been a long time since we got that tune whilst Luffy blasted off an attack. Also though, he totally didn't run on the spot there. Extra animation like it's no biggie. Oda really outdid himself with the rather insane amount of attacks that comes from the balls floating everywhere. I swear, I think they did a better job here with the zooming type of animation from the swinging than they did in any other episode that I can recall. Maybe even the movies. That was smooth. How, just like in his big fight in Arabasta, he added in a quick rubber band attack here among the hammer ones. It's a brand new Usopp gadget. This is a fairly big deal actually because he rarely comes out with them. Last one really was to start the saga with the suits to go underwater. The boat itself reacting with surprise. Well, I feel both bad for Usopp and yet smart at the same time, as I must admit, this flaw in the design was thought of by me as he swung to it. I love it, as Sanji gets more and more annoyed at the sight unfolding in front of him. Luffy just joins him like this. Oh, a very angry Sanji! My god, he's an annoying foe, isn't he? He just comes out of nowhere with serious powerful attacks, what the hell? One of the longest and best quality at a distance not running on the spots in ages, and it's of some kid mysteriously. Man, I hope this is something they continue to do through all 1,100 plus episodes as of writing, but I doubt it. It's so much extra work to animate something walking through a scene. How, whilst everyone is going through their own thing, little Chopper is just having his own mini mission going on. I literally thought to myself, I won't do the Chopper is so cute win this time. Taking a small break from it. And then this happened and I was like, I just can't not do it now. At the same time, I was kinda also thinking, maybe I'll take a quick little break from praising the voice actress, and then this happened! Nami makes sense for an argument where she keeps hold of the whistle, but I do like how Usopp and Chopper wanted it as a kind of security blanket, and Luffy just wanted to use it for fun. How Robin, much like Zoro, simply watches these arguments as they go down with a passing interest. A very clever compromise from Nami and one that makes total sense. Really glad this was shown and not just skipped over too. The repairs to the ship now looking real permanent to what was there at the start of the saga. Chopper going all Super Saiyan! The great plot twist that one of the priests, I think anyway, has made his way to where Baby Chopper is. Yup, that's getting 2 max wins because sometimes something happens that blows me away. And this time, it was choosing to go slow-mo there. Brilliant choice, made it so impactful. See, now that is super interesting too, and without going into much detail. It's just a fine mystery because in all this plant life, someone once laid stones to walk on, like a path. Shockingly, they're again getting max wins already for multiple reasons. Firstly, choosing to go slow-mo again. Secondly, it's the reveal they can attack from that direction. And of course, Zoro and Robin working together here. Nami kinda not being her normal self here and saying thank you right away. Things seriously not looking good for these guys, and I'm still over here wondering how on earth they could possibly win against this guy. But also real nice music choice here. Not sure I've ever heard this one either. 2 wins, firstly that he went after rescuing her to also pick up her old man and is now keeping him safe too. But also it seems like just such a beautiful location. It seems like maybe he lives even higher up than the others do and he has a nice little cottage and gardens. I really like it. I might be wrong, but what I'm totally getting from this dude is he's just a straight up nice guy. He saved them, I think 3 times on the bounce now, all as a freebie. Instead of everyone just thinking the very best of our crew, or rather their allies like here, there's a tinge of logically not understanding who they are, saying they may be criminals. See, now I really like that even more, because he's basically saying that just because you're labelled a criminal doesn't mean you are one. Are you criminals now? Not really, no. Damn man, I seriously like this guy and the way he thinks. It's so unique and he's spot on as well. Context is everything. Finally, at long last, we learn about the opposing sides in this kind of maybe brewing civil war of sorts. Oh damn, learning that this has been going on for a very, very long time, and of course that he used to be one of the gods. Lastly, take a win for the reveal that his god status was taken away by that other god, which answers some questions but definitely also raises some more too. Just some really pleasing looking animation on how they did that shot, clearly arranging things in the foreground and background. A gorgeous looking, basically half rotating shot they genuinely didn't need to do, and so smooth too. That was great. Also though, I really enjoyed his voice and face at the end there. He clearly loves his home and believes the best ending for it will eventually happen. As soon as his bird horse heard the sound of the whistle and reacted, he immediately headed into action. absolutely adorable little Usopp fox.
本当にそれが何より
Aw, that was just a lovely moment too that I read into as him being so glad that the knight saved her and brought her here. If so, that was so sweet.
差し出せ
That nice dodge from Chopper, but also how he kept blowing the whistle slightly did just make me chuckle prior. It's really good how, in spite of being so scared and actively in combat, he thinks of the ship first and stopping the fire from spreading. It's legit one of my favourite things to watch Chopper fight because I find it so well done how he changes shape like here to avoid getting hit. Got me genuinely worried for both Chopper and the ship now with the flames spreading everywhere and him getting hurt. How much he cares about the ship already, maybe because he knows how much it means to the others and especially Usopp. Was gonna include that with the last swim, but hell no, he deserves his own for doing that to save the ship. Oh, bless his heart! How seriously he takes this responsibility! It's legit one of my favourite things right now to see Zoro and Robin combined in keeping Nami alive. He slices and dices while she grabs her like this. It's my favourite! To her credit though, Nami is really full of thanks every time they do it too. The shock that he's right, it does burn through everything, but also the damage animation to boot. Glad to see him being brave and going on to the attack there. You gotta be kidding me! This is a thing he can do too? Can all four of them do it? I really gotta lay down. Giving us a look at this whole area on a map and a better understanding of where the crew are, split into different areas, and also how these priests operate. At the same time as the last swim, we're also informed essentially about how our crew can escape this area in such a way that they'll basically let them leave? Chopper fighting till the end there, and thankfully it wasn't needed as our awesome old knight turned up in time to enter the fray, and I can breathe a sigh of relief now. The animators did such a legit great job with the whole airborne aspect of this saga. Like, it looks so good for real, and they really polished up long distance shots too. How they show us rather than tell that both are strong, but clearly the Sky Knight is far stronger than he thought he'd be. Awesome. Simply awesome. There's a mystery element there too, since he's using the same or similar attack that the guy fighting Luffy is using. But so badass! Easy win! Chopper is so very happy! I may be wrong, but I wonder if his final move was inspired by, at the time, Dragon Ball Z? Rest in peace to the mangaka too. They've switched leaders so many times, but it's good how it's casual. It's basically more akin to Nakama helping one another out than it is one person taking leadership, I suppose. the way, this is what I was talking about during the last episode, how good the studio has gotten at doing these long distance shots like here, rather than always having to do close shots. It really is to Oda's credit that this kid wasn't introduced with a bunch of backstory tacked on. Instead, it's been maybe 2 or 3 episodes and we still have no idea who they are. Okay, that is so cool. There's a whole mini village that's been built kind of between the cloud areas or something. Also though, 2 more wins coming at you. Firstly, a bunch are not running on the spots, like that went on and on there. Lastly, it's a totally unique building style, looking like Native American constructions.
戦いの終結にそれ以外の答えはない。大戦士カルガラは言った。シャンディアの火を灯せ。
Getting to see this guy, who I assume is the one who first attacked them, and more about what's going on in their civil war and what the sides are and so on. Also though, being such a big fan of Hunter x Hunter, I gotta point out how he's the fish guy with his sister who threw Nen darts at Killua, and also the guy who taught Nen to Karapika. Sky Kawaii!
なんとか彼らの逃げ道を作る努力をしましょう。
I knew I liked this old man as he talks to his daughter about finding a way to help out Luffy and the others. Too long to show, but a decent enough fight scene that makes it appear as though they're moving fast and attacking. Getting a nice bit of law during the middle of the fight. This old man landed a right decent attack there. Well, needless to say, after the last win, totally unexpected plot twist all of a sudden. To be real, I'm deeply shocked events have turned out this way, but I shouldn't be. Oda is very anti-anime in his approach. Blow this whistle and I'll come, and then he's beaten. Wow! What an absolute legend he is. In spite of being so scared, in spite of knowing he can't swim in that, he still dove in after him like this. He's officially made me hate these so-called priests with what's happened this episode and the last. Ugh! Funny enough, I praised this in the first half of Solo Leveling, so yes, how One Piece animators always remember exactly how to perfectly place everything and everyone at a distance. Oh, such a clever way she does things and gathers intelligence and does her work and everything! I also love how she's able to use her head and her skills to note that things don't match up between the life in this area and what is currently there. Maybe taking the timeline into account too? NANI?! Finally, at long last! Something goes their way as Luffy finds out this is linked to the guy. Been waiting for them to find anything as a way by which to affect him. At last, it's now a second thing that hasn't gone his way. Let's friggin' go! I'm all in now, baby. That's really clever if it's done on purpose. Make things seem so bleak that when some little things begin to go their way, it makes me want to near jump for joy, I swear. At least some small amount of detail looks like it was caused to him. Ah, that's so good! He thought Luffy was taken out in the explosion and there he is! So much hype! Even after going through what he has, he's still so cheeky and lovable back there.
離すなよルフィ。もう二度と逃がすなその団子。
Art style change on a very angry sounding Sanji.
つまりそうだ。これは恋の試練。
Ignoring the wording? It's a very badass looking scene still. And there we have it. I'm thinking they've won the day, and as it turns out, just had to find a way to get very close to him, which wouldn't have been possible had Luffy not been a bit crazy. Ah, such a good statement from Luffy there, and he sounds so happy saying it too. Even if you can predict our attacks, not much you could do about them if you can't move, is there? Here we go, Sanji is launching into an attack, and what made it even better is the lead up with him basically telling us he's really gonna make it count too. It's such a simple attack, but it's getting the episode max wins for being landed with such an overwhelming looking and sounding power. Plus, it's just good to see him hopefully beaten and done. A real decent look at what I assume is the leaders of this faction. Real nice job done on internal set design here, looking like very unique items to this specific tribe of people.
叩き崩すなら今だ。おお。直ちにアッパーヤードに総攻撃をかける。
For some reason, I'm a big fan of when our crew makes an enemy, but then in the process of doing so, also makes allies, like clearly these guys and gals are going to be. I like this because you can see it from their point of view, learning that people have come from the surface, and that within such a short period of time, they've taken out one of the priests. It's only 5 seconds, yet it contains so much animation. Their hug, the wink she gives, them in the distance, him twirling his gun, and then that at the end. A whole lot. The fact that this is literally what he decided to call his belt as a name. Doesn't matter how you slice it, that was a frigging astonishing thing. How they did the rope slowly pulling along to the side was a nice added bit. It's a smaller example, but that's what I was saying, where they're clearly getting so much better at doing these long distance animation sequences. They made it back to the boat! His voice actor genuinely goes the extra mile for comedy all the time. He's meant to be half submerged in water as he says this. You know what that reminded me of, and it gets a win for it? Knuckle being saved at the very last second by Killua in Hunter x Hunter. If you've seen it, you'll know the part. This pupster being a cute pupster, for now anyway, and cleaning his face like my boys do. Can't ignore that. But also the creepy looking visuals that surrounds them being totally different to what we've seen so far. Again, 2 wins. Visually, I thought this looked bloody brilliant personally. But I felt inclined to praise Oda for not making it Luffy and crew versus the 4 priests. Instead, they're split, Chopper is hurt, and now these guys are turning up, and they've won a battle so far. Pretty cool how they have what is basically their own kind of god, I suppose, or historic figure of importance that they look on with pride, same as the enemies. Also, I couldn't skip past the sheer volume of people created in this huge crowd of warriors. So much dedication! Goodness me, what an insanely badass moment that was! Bruh, how many other studios would actually add slip marks on the moss from this? I've said it before and I'll say it again. Seeing her use her ability in various different ways, I'm not sure I'll ever grow bored of it.
面白いわ。私の生きる目的にはまだ続きがあるのかもしれない。
Nice bit of character building suddenly for Robin, which was quite unexpected by me at this point.
あれ？俺助かったのか？
Someone saved all three of them, thankfully. Take that win.
空の騎士！医者！俺だ！
Such a funny running gag to me that he panics and calls for a doctor every time.
誰？神様って今喋ったのって誰？
I keep forgetting how Chopper can hear and speak to animals. One thing that makes me continue to love One Piece is casual interactions like Zoro and Robin are having whilst Nami makes her way towards whatever she's seen in the distance. Luffy doing impressions of people is absolutely one of my favourite things ever. Oh, that's so good.
このアッパーヤードと呼ばれている島はもともと地上にあった島なのよ。
Oh yes, I called it correctly. Let's go. For context, Nami found something that was definitely made on the surface up here.
ただの言った？
ここは引き裂かれた島の片割れ。
They can actually have another there for that. I never noticed it before at the time. That's brilliant, really. And this side is so covered, naturally, in plant life too.
スバードがいっぱい。でもなんでこんなにでっかいの？
So awesome. It's like they grew massive because it's so high up in the sky and they had to physically adapt to the new environment when they arrived up there. So clever if that's the case.
俺たちを助けてくれたのはお前ら？
Learning two things, that it seems it was that massive blast that rocked the island apart years and years ago, but also that strangely enough, these birds helped them. So weird, but that history on display from the book, seeing the house, that beautiful music, and the sense of adventure legit brought a tear to my eye there. Wow, seeing what it looked like all of that time ago when it was happening. This was the moment, for me, the saga went from being pretty cool to being absolutely fantastic. Seeing Nami so happy, but also kicking off the episode with another look at how the island flew up into the sky hundreds of years ago. Seeing the start of this fight, and I really enjoy how combat is so different to anything we've seen down below. Wow, that animation come out of nowhere, didn't it? Lovely rotating shot. Little bit of first person goodness too. That was sick. Getting a proper look at where the next ordeal is going to take place, and I'm impressed how Oda didn't make the entire thing simply take place in the forest, and instead it all looks different. The moment these two sides come properly into contact, just a shame they don't yet know that, I guess basically, they should really both be on the same side. Luffy using that dome super quick and using his ability.
奴らはエネルを消そうってのか。ってことはゲリラとゴッドは別物なのか。分かったことはゴッドエネルの敵で俺たちにとっても敵だってことが。
I talked about this ages ago, but Oda writes the story so large that oftentimes one group legit doesn't know information that another may know, and that's happened here.
ジャングルの中を進んではいけない病か。俺
Usopp struggling with yet another barely known disease, bless him. So awesome, showing us that all three priests are being fought at the same time by these guys and gals. Great rotating shot as he does that similar sort of samurai thing I remember the dude in the Phantom Troop and Hunter x Hunter doing. Such a clever thing to write for Usopp to say in this moment. I thought the last two areas were unique, and now there's this! By all accounts, this whole boat going up and down the Milky Path is really well done animation-wise. The fact that he managed to get all up in his grill for this up-close attack, considering this entire time no one has been able to do pretty much anything to these priests.
おい、メリー号のマストがねえぞ。どんな改造を施してんだ、あいつ。
そんなわけないでしょ。敵襲を受けたのよ。
Zoro thinking Chopper had decided to remove the mast as part of his repairs, and Nami hilariously pointing out that clearly he was attacked.
八つ咲きにされたのかしら。
怖い想像やめてよ。
So dark all of a sudden. Luffy being straight up fantastic as he does this and clears the entire way forwards.
おお、ほら見ろ、見つけたぞ。ゴーイングメリー号だ。あれが祭壇だ。あっちも元気みたいね。ああ、一安心。
Oh my goodness! Konami insanely shocked that they've made it here. I really didn't think Oda would reunite the crew at this stage.
マストがね
ウソップ、ごめんよ。俺必死で戦ったんだけども。
Ugh! If that isn't one of the sweetest Chopper moments in the entire thing so far.
いろんなとこ燃やされて。
お前、怪我は大丈夫なのか？
え？
Usopp being a legend here and caring more about his wounds than anything else. My heart is so warm right now.
燃やされたのがお前じゃなくてよかったよ。
My heart was already warm, and this wrapped a blanket around it with a hot water bottle resting alongside it too. The return of Super Saiyan Chopper, and of course he's grown through his own ordeal here too.
ただでくれた笛一個のためにここまで戦ってくれたのか。
Glad someone mentioned this. It's what I had said before. He talks about money, but he fought so hard to defend Chopper and for nothing in return, bless him.
いろいろ聞きてえこともあるが、目覚ますまで待とう。おめえもありがとな。
Also glad to see Oda continues the tradition of the crew thanking animals who helped them in one way or another. Sometimes I think a bit like Luffy. Sanji says let's camp in the forest, Luffy asks why, and Usopp says if we had to fight here, it'd end up wrecking the ship. So clever and awesome how they use this lull in the action finally to have a solid catch up on what each group has been up to and everything that's happened to one another. Also though, as always, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention how much I enjoy these encounters anyway. Eating and drinking and talking around a fire in the night, it's lovely to me. I don't know which is more funny to me, his massive reaction to the news, or the fact that Nami already said it and he missed it.
チョッパー、もっと細かい方がいいかな。
飲めるくらいがいいよ。
See, now that right there is just a beautifully added extra scene. Sanji is making food for the old man, but confirming he's doing it right with Chopper, who is the doctor. I love it.
神が怒るぞ。怖いんだぞ。
面白そうね。
Robin just enjoying the moment, and I for one adore seeing her like this.
敵も十分。こりゃサバイバルってことになるな。楽しみだ。
And Zoro basically doing the same thing, but for the thrill of fighting.
よーし、やるか。黄金探し。
just like the old days, leaving a win for when they finish an episode in a truly epic style like that. I swear this could so easily have inspired Attack on Titan with its scenes of gliding through the forest, seriously similar to my eyes. What a fantastic looking choreographed shot! I personally think the animators did a really solid job of bringing this battle to life. It felt as though they were really fighting for quite some time and had them on the ropes. Not kind of flying away on the spot. So many extra details I always appreciate, such as seeing the food Chopper and Zoro had gathered. In that same vein, we then get to see Sanji prepping meals and also distilling water ready for use the next day. They continue to press the previous 2 wins by showing Robin gathering salt. Nami's been hard at work and basically they're all prepping for their journey. I continue to seriously love it. I like how the girls are now fully getting on as they're on the same page here, but also Nami looking real cute in those glasses. 2 wins. Firstly, for context, Usopp removes his shoes, ready to swim to the other side to gather more wood to repair the ship tomorrow. Zoro points out the sharks, and this happens. It's funny. But mostly, Zoro collecting his forgotten shoes for him, and the warm feeling it gave me in general about what a tight-knit crew they are, off doing their own things. I so adore it, seriously. Animating everyone moving around the campsite from a distance like it's no biggie. I'm so happy that was shown. Sanji made the heart-shaped ones for the girls, and because Usopp gave Nami a bowl, Chopper gave Nami's to Usopp here.
400年の間に大型化したんだろうな。しかし妙だな。なんでそのでっかいサウスバードがおめえらを助けたんだ?
The difference between how he serves food to the ladies and then to Zoro here.
確か巨大な金型の黄金って話だったな。あとサウスバードがいて。
Luffy just got told to stop saying everything that comes into his head, including the obvious. So the way I read this scene is him being mad at Sanji remembering details he couldn't.
ほら見て、これが400年前のジャヤの姿。
First of all, Nami is so smart to have figured this out. But secondly, Oda is clever for making Nami do that and for thinking this up in the first place. Oh, I can't quite help it. I find stuff like this so funny and charming.
その間船も放っとけないから、明日は2チームに分かれて動きましょう。
Oda is seriously so outstanding at writing stories. He splits them up for multiple episodes, they're back for one, and now they're, logically, splitting up again. A genuinely surprisingly stunning look at the islands by night.
バカなことを聞いたかウソップ。あんなこと言ったら火を消すってよ。キャンプファイヤーするだろうがよ。
Luffy and Usopp making it sound like Robin doesn't understand something basic and fundamental about keeping the campfire going at night, and turns out they just want it. That's it.
組木はこんなもんか?
あんたらもやる気満々か。
The size of the fire they think is reasonable to have going overnight.
せんだよこのよそもんが。外と寝やがれバカ野郎が。なんだぞ。
Chopper translating the wolf in a very Japanese gangster Yakuza kind of way.
お宝は渡さないわ。
How Chopper's voice actress managed to get her voice so high there at the end. Having a big but very random party with the wolves.
エネルの住む時でこんなにバカ騒ぎをする者は他におらぬぞ。
あらお目覚めね。動いてもいいの?
Made me quite happy to see the old man wake up finally and be up and about. I think he's one of those lads that makes an impression on me through the story and I care about.
何言ってる。十分さ。ありがとう。チョッパーと俺たちの船を助けてくれたんだってな。
Zoro not allowing the man to feel bad about losing his battle and praising him for both saving Chopper and the ship.
ただ2人とも無事で。
しみんなでチョッパーを胴上げだ。
Oda's sense of humour almost never fails to get me. Usopp's happy about Connis being okay, so he declares they should toss Chopper up into the air. Like, why?
俺ならまだ戦える。お前の言う通り、アッパーヤードを落とすなら今だ。
Always like dudes like this. He's really hurt but still steps in to right a wrong happening before his eyes.
我々はこれをバースト、そう呼ぶ。
One of the things that's great about how he tells his stories is that Verth is mentioned ages ago with no explanation, and now we get that understanding of what it is. It comes out organically. Darth Weirdo, Fiji, Nick Wyndham, The Element Taylor Wars, Christopher Willis, Emmanuel Gonzalez, Fancy Turtle, Kepan, Mini Masher, Marquez, Nozomi, Orkeeper, Otar Bandanisi, Steelers, The Epic Commander, Bird Without a Word, Brandon Krier, Brian Bayard, Cameron, Christian Tavasa, Commander Cyrus, David Mayer Olmos, Doggos for Life, Dragonstorm 35, Aaron Winters, Guru, James Tafoya, Jor Edvinson, Kevin Halston, Cumfroy, Kylie Welp, Luis Benito, Mr. Mansu, Nightly Winter, Peter Milligan, Ruby Rose, Satoko Yari, Zionx 44, Sean, Starkip, The 100s, Tiger Lily Warrior, Ajoka, Alexander Schwartz, Ali 50, Armadillo, Brainless Ben, Cecilia, Cedric, Cloud Garden, Dante Soul, Dante's Face, Dark Lord Bloody Soul, Devon, Dragon Defender, Iso, Francie, Garrett Vermeesh, Gibbs, Hooved Lowe's Ritter, Hunter Miranda, Isel Caldera, Jason Davies, John, Jaffa6263, Kai Wolfspring, Kelnock, Kevin Nelter, Kevin 102, Knuckle Duster, Kai 158, Kyle Jones, Laxor, Laxis, Liam Gogati, Lifty, Lionel Schultz, Marvin, Matthew Blancett, Michael Lewis, Motivirum, Moodini, Mr. Fire Cool, Nathaniel Gregomosa, Natsu Dragneel, Nick Monaco, Nick Pell, Novagown, 9028, Ollie the Mighty, Oliver Smiley Reacts, Oscar I. Lopez, Owen Halloran, Q-Flash, Chris Harris, Ryan DeVeries, Psychomi Aorum, Sarcastic Truth, Snowy, Stan, Storm 970, TRS, Thrasher 340, Will Sass, Willyman.